Hey everyone, welcome back. After riding segment 6 of the CT from Kenosha Pass to Breck in the last episode, we had originally planned to ride up the paved road and take segment 7, Miners Creek, back into Breck for this one. However, it became pretty quickly obvious that 2 days like this in a row would have been killer for us. So instead, we decided to drive back to Vail and ended up having an unexpectedly phenomenal day of bike park laps. Vail is much more well known for the winter season as one of the largest ski areas in Colorado. I don't post much of it to YouTube, but if you follow me on Instagram, you know that skiing is a sport I wish I had more time to do. Vail has some of the most awesome and easily accessible terrain during winter, with everything from steeps to bumps to nice gladed runs. But enough of that, you're not here for the skiing. The point is, I had always found it surprising that this isn't regarded for summer as much as it is for winter, so I didn't really know what to expect. Thankfully, the bike park really delivered.
You guys ready? First run of the day. Always feels so rusty.
We started our day on Fred's Lunch, as that's what was recommended to us as an easy start to the day while staying away from the meandering and flat green trails. While not very technical, this trail was instantly engaging. The moon dust dirt in Colorado really lends itself to being eroded by passing riders, which causes brake bumps and these fun dips and hips on the trail. So what was originally boring smooth single track now gives you a solid hand workout straight out of the gate. Where the trail crossed the open green fields that form the ski runs in winter, speed is the name of the game. It's so easy to just let go and get to Mach 1 on these sections. They don't last much though, as the trail builders made great use of the forested areas that remain underused in winter. These sections of trail are much rockier and challenging. On Fred's Lunch in particular, these two upcoming jumps are just awesome. They're super easy to clear, they're noble, and they have enough size to make them fun and safe. And since all of the winding turns here have significant berm support, it's okay to land into a turn. This and all other blue trails in Vail share one common design feature. They can be ridden by anyone at slower speeds, yet they remain engaging as you go faster. New and experienced riders can both find fun on these. To me, that's a sign of a very well designed trail. And before we knew it, we were back at the bottom, nested in the beautiful Vail village and ready to head up for lap 2. For our second lap, we rode Big Mamba, which has the same blue rating but has a different style. With more usage of straight line speed, fast bank turns, and rocky patches, it really does well to differentiate itself, a quality that I think is really important at bike parks. Nothing is worse than having all trails be the same, which really thankfully doesn't happen here at Vail. Another thing that makes Vail super cool to ride is that you get a ton of vert on each run. For reference, Fitzsimmons Express, which is the main lift at the world's most well-known bike park, Whistler, takes you up 1,138 feet. In contrast, the main gondola at Vail, Bahn, takes you up almost double at 2,215 feet. This means runs down feel like they're eternal, in a very good way. Additionally, the builders here rarely use fall lines, so mileage is also quite high each run, but it doesn't feel flat. The real downside is that in comparison to Whistler, which has too many runs to count, or even Keystone, which is a short drive away, Vail only has a handful of dedicated bike trails and about 15 multi-use trails. As you can probably tell, and indicative of the elevation change, the vegetation has changed quite a bit since the start of this run. Big Mamba doesn't make it all the way to the bottom though. Eventually, you'll end up at this intersection and have to choose another trail to get back to the gondola. In this instance, we chose to ride Hank's Hideaway. While it was definitely a fast, fun trail, this one in particular doesn't have much to make it stand out of the rest. I'd say it's worth doing once, but not one I'd keep coming back to. Given its location, we did find that this one had the most traffic of all our runs, so make sure to play nice with newer riders as you make your way through this one.
Thank you guys, it's 3 of us in total.
When I say traffic, you can tell it's still not much. We're not talking about bottlenecks either. There's still tons of opportunity to go real fast here. Just watch out for those braking bumps. The best part of this trail is without a doubt the aspens. In fall, the yellow is nothing short of enchanting, providing a backdrop that'll make you feel like you're in a sick edit of your favorite bike brand, ripping through the forest with sail playing in the background. It also happens to be the section of trail that has the best riding. It's just at that point where it's chunky and it has some kinks to it, but you can plow through everything full speed. And unfortunately, before you know it, you'll be at the bottom. The good thing is that you're ready to go and hit the lift again. For our third lap, we went down my now favorite, Radio Flyer. If you're here and you only get to do one trail, this is the one that you should be doing. Just make sure to look out for those chipmunks.
Whoa! Almost hit it. Yeah, first you and then me.
But in all seriousness, this really is the best built flow trail here, with a never-ending supply of rollers that pump like they were made in heaven, and which I assume some more skilled riders can get to jump to. All the turns have massive berms to keep your speed up and continue to flow. And even if you shed more speed than intended, it's really not a problem, since you get rollers to pump into again instantly. The builders of this trail clearly wanted to make it easy to keep your speed up. Even the sections that wind narrowly through the pines are bermed and can be pumped. If you can trust your bike here, it's actually quite easy to hold the line through these turns. I can guarantee one thing though. Your legs are probably going to be on fire by this point, unless of course you're a pump track monster. And just when you think you can't keep going, there's this set of never-ending whoops.
Oh my god, this is exhausting. Wow, that really took it out of me.
You may think that strategically placed rest spot is the end, but it's not. This trail keeps on going for a long time with more and more bumps, jumps, and rollers. The bottom part is also extremely fast with sweeping wide berms where you can just rail the bike into them and hang on. So yeah, if you're coming to Vail, really, don't skip this trail. This trail will eventually lead to the same intersection we saw a while ago. This time, instead, we decided to go down Main Lane, a short but super steep jewel of a trail that is the perfect way to finish a run after Radio Flyer.
Really steep.
Obviously the GoPro never captures the steepness completely correctly, but you can try to use the people that are standing off to the side of the trail in a little bit to try to gauge how steep it was. Remember how I told you this place has a lot of vert? Everything you've seen so far has been just 3 laps. We eventually did end up repeating a few trails over the day, but never felt bummed by it. Next, we decided to hit PMT, a tech-focused single diamond.
Spicy braking bumps.
It may not be immediately clear, but I kinda got scared there and ended up not sending that wooden plank just out of fear. But it's something that you can definitely do, both drop it or roll it completely okay.
You gonna roll it?
At this point, I have already made my mind up on what I thought about this bike park, and I think I know why it's not as well known as some other places. If I had to convey it in just a few words, this is a trail rider's bike park, not a downhill bike park. What I'm trying to say is whether it makes sense for you to come here or go to Keystone, for example, is not about whether Vail is good or bad, because it's really good, but about what your expectations are. Yes, there's a few jumps here, and even a few like this one that I still can't clear, but it's not a jumping place. Yes, there's some chunky downhill stuff, but it's not downhill bike worthy. Instead, everything seems to be thought out so it can be ridden to perfection with your trail bike without any issues. To me, it's a phenomenal place if you're looking specifically for that, especially if you're not too fond of huge jumps, for example. I know I'd come back, but if I wanted to get some true downhill experience and bash into stuff at high speed, I'd probably go to Keystone or Winter Park instead. On our last recorded rundown, we started off by hitting Magic Forest, a mostly tech-focused single diamond that had some really cool tech features on it. At this point though, we were really tired. We even skipped riding the only double diamond at the park, since it already felt like we were kinda pushing it. I could feel my riding was starting to get a little bit sloppy, and given the amount of days that we still had to ride in Colorado, I really didn't want to have a crash.
Should have sent that.
Eventually, Vail did claim its due from one of us. As we approached the sequential drop section, Angel seemed to have bounced kinda odd, and he ended up riding straight into a tree.
You okay?
Obviously the GoPro doesn't let you see this, but the sequential steps here were quite big. It was totally rideable, but it's one of those things that if you don't know what it looks like when you hit it, it can catch you off guard.
Take your time. Take it easy. Yeah, that had to hurt. I was luckily able to stop before I hit the rock garden and not run into you. Take it little by little to make sure you're not hurt.
In the end, it went about as well as hitting a tree can go, considering he was unhurt beyond some scrapes and didn't damage the bike at all. After checking on the bike, we all hiked up and hit the feature again just to conquer it, and then we went on our way. Although I have to admit I rode it way more cautiously than if I hadn't seen the crash. We finished the rundown via sitting up, which turned out to be awesome, albeit a bit short. The blue runs here are really a ton of fun. We did do another lap after this, but I ended up scrapping the footage, as I really rode that last lap against better judgment. I was so exhausted I was making a ton of mistakes. So I decided to ride real slow, and the footage is, well, boring as can be. Instead, we decided to just focus on the awesome views on the way down and enjoy the yellow aspens.
I had not even noticed.
We did not die today.
Beer.
That always is
We didn't die.
a great
Almost.
success
Got
at a
close
bike
one.
park.
That was great.
It was a small fall. I mean, you only hit a tree
Every day somebody needs to have a little bit of a scare.
and a rock.
I'm
Oh my god, my hands
mark on me.
are in pain.
Well everyone, that's all I have for you today. I hope you had fun coming along for a day of riding at Vail, and that if you're considering going for yourself, this video helped you see what to expect. In the next video, we're hitting the big one for the road trip, conquering Mount Elbert, the tallest 14er in the state of Colorado. Until then, I'll see you for the next one, and happy riding!